First off, hi, I'm Danielle Porter. I am going to introduce myself a little bit. Barbie asked me to host this call, and so you guys probably all don't know me. So I did want to introduce myself and tell you guys a little bit about me, and then we're going to talk about how to add new contacts to your contact list. So let's get going. I have a little slideshow and I'm going to just do a screen share. It'll help me keep on track. I'm super scattered, especially when I'm talking. And so I get excited and ramble. So hopefully the slideshow will help me stay on track. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see my little screen share here. Make it big. All right, so welcome. It is Tuesday, February the 7th, and this is the Team Empire team call, and we're going to talk about adding new contacts, back to basics. So, but where are all the people? So let me introduce myself first, and then we'll go into more about this. So who am I? I am Danielle Porter. I am a diamond coach and the founder of Team Nourished. I started coaching in November of 2004. I have my master's degree in nutrition. I have 2 kids under the age of 5. I am an Army wife of almost 10 years, and we're stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I don't know where most of you guys are from, but that's where we are. I love black coffee, cupcakes, Jesus, traveling, serving my community, and reading. I was an obese teen and adult up to the age of 30 and lost 65 pounds with Beachbody. So I have a really big transformation story, which, is great. I guess everybody is great, but my journey isn't over. I still have lots of aspects of my journey that I'm still working on. And I hope you guys do too, because I hope that nobody ever feels like they've arrived at the greatness. So let's get right down to work, because I want to honor your time and honor my time too. Like I said, I have 2 small kids and my husband is traveling in Texas right now for work. So they will only stay quiet so long. So let's get going. I don't know if you guys take notes usually, but you might want to grab a pen and a piece of paper if you don't already have one, just so you can take notes. And there's going to be a question thing at the end. I can't see the chat box. So if you load a question in the chat box, just give me a minute after each slideshow and I will kind of address those. So, okay. So we're going to talk about, like I said, adding new coaches, adding new contacts to your contact list. And that's something I felt qualified to talk about because I've kind of developed a little bit of a system, but I'm going to touch on 4 ways and give you some really concrete action steps that you can take tonight or first thing tomorrow, whenever you have your power hour that you're ready to work. You can sit down and do this, and it won't offend me at all if you're doing it during the call either, because that's the whole point. We're here to add new contacts. So the first kind of tip, helpful hint, whatever you want to call it, is to get outside and put your phone down, which sounds kind of crazy in the social media business because it's a social media business and we all kind of get pigeonholed, at least for me. For a long time, I got pigeonholed into, well, I have to just keep posting online and that's where I'll get the majority of my business from. But that's not actually the case in a lot of cases, because when you start to feel like, well, I've met all the people I can meet, you really kind of get your face out of the phone and get out there and do something else other than Beachbody stuff, which I know sounds counterintuitive. But some of the most wonderful coaches that I have on my team, I met at a business conference or at, a Christian women's ministry conference. That had nothing to do with Beachbody, from my MOPS group. So you can make a list right now of all the activities that you're already involved in. Some of you might be involved in, other groups or community organizations, that kind of thing. Like I said, if you need help with ideas for that, think about your kids, your community. Are you military? Do you love to travel? Maybe there's a local group that gets together and talks about travel stuff. I don't know. For us, we're in a neighborhood association. So that is a group of people. So basically what I do once I've joined a group, and I don't join groups just for the heck of joining groups. Like I join groups because I want to be there. Like I'll join a MOPS group, or when we moved here, I joined this MOPS group. And immediately I went in there into the Facebook page, the private Facebook page that I was given for being a member of that MOPS group, and friended every single person in that list that I thought had any kind of interest that I might be interested in too, that we might connect on some level. Same thing with our HOA, with our homeowners association. I went through our private Facebook page and friended all of them. I will go to a business conference. Like I said, I have my master's in nutrition and regularly travel for different conferences. And I talk to people. I don't sit there and answer my challengers' questions right there. I let them know, hey, I'm at a conference today. I'm not able to be as available. I'll catch up with you tonight. So I don't play with my phone while I'm there. I might post one or two things, but the rest of the time I'm engaging with the world around me, and I'm looking for new people to be friends with. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but if you listen to the National Wake Up Call on Monday, Carl talked about this is a business of building relationships. And that's kind of what I've taken this as, is that I want to build relationships with people, because if you think back to why you signed up with somebody you probably signed up because of a relationship. It wasn't like, okay, well, I made the sale and now it's this, this, and this. It was because you felt a connection there. And that's intrinsically, that's what we as humans want to do, is feel connection. And so you can do that all over the place. So like I said, when I'm at a conference for work, or, I don't know, for something on my church, the very first thing I do when I meet a new person and we have a good conversation, I'm like, hey, let me add you as a friend on Facebook. Let's connect there. Cause obviously we don't live maybe right around one another, and I'll friend them right then and there. I don't write their name down. I don't come back to them. I'm like, hey, let me send you a friend request right now. And like, just kind of make it a part of the conversation, because we don't really do a lot of business cards anymore. That Facebook is our business card. So I just immediately connect with them on Facebook. So like I said, the action step for that is to make a list right now of the activities you're involved in outside of social media. And if you can't think of any, figure out 2 to join right now. Like if you are sitting here and you're like, well, I don't do anything but, beach body stuff, like get out and do something. I don't know, whatever you need to do. Go sit at a coffee shop, drink coffee, and smile and say hi to somebody. Walk around the grocery store and comment on something that somebody is put in their grocery cart. So just be friendly, be personable. The next one is friends of friends. And so I'm going to screen share my my Facebook, because I'm going to teach you how to do this in case you don't already know how to do that. Your action step, if you're going to write that down before I click out of it, is to find 5 people daily to send friend requests to. This doesn't mean that all 5 of them will friend you back kind of thing, but I for myself set a minimum at 5, because most likely 2 of those, if I'm lucky, all 5 will, but most likely 2 of those will. So if you don't know how to do that, you will go to friends of my friends, and then think of something that you like to do. So say you're into yoga. That's a really easy one. Friends of my friends who like yoga. So then go to people. Oh, friends of, maybe it's friends of friends. Let's see if it'll pop up now. Of course, my internet's being super slow now that I actually need it to do something. Come on, thing. Okay, well, it's going to be super slow, but anyways, that's what you do. You basically go through there and it'll pull up a list. It'll populate a list. I apologize that it's being really slow. I think it's 5:30 and everybody and their mother is getting home from work and hopping online in my neighborhood. So it'll pull up a big giant list of friends of your friends who like yoga. I am not a fan of promoting blanket friend requests. Like I don't just go somewhere random and friend a bunch of people I don't know. I try to make sure I have at least one solid connection with them, so that they would think that we might have met in some kind of way. It's not just some skeezy salesperson friending them. There's a lot of conflicting, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if you guys get the advice from some network marketing mentorship that might say like go friend this person, and then as soon as they say, you know, they accept your friend request, you go on and send them a message and be like, oh, hey, I'm so glad to connect with like-minded people, you know, blah, 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 blah. I don't do that. My system is very different than that, and I really can't stand it. Immediately, I'm turned off by anybody that does that. If anyone does that to me on Instagram or Facebook, I will immediately delete them. Just no questions asked. I don't have time for that crap. And so I don't do that. What I do is if someone does, so I keep a notebook where I keep all the people who have accepted my friend request recently. And I just write their name down, or you can go on Facebook and go to friends. Let's see if it'll pull it up. Well, I'm glad this is working today. If you go to friends and then recently added, that will pull up new friends as well. And so, you know, I give it about 24 hours or so, and then I will go in there and say, like, Renee Parker's a coach on the team. So obviously I'm not going to do that for another coach on the team, but I'll go through and scroll, click like, maybe write a comment, you know, something that I genuinely and authentically do connect with, because otherwise it's going to be a forced relationship, and that's not helpful for anybody. So let me see if it'll work again. Friends of friends who like running. Let's try a totally different one. Oh, see, here we go. Okay. So if you click, so these are going to be people who are my friends, but if you click see all, it pull and scroll, it will pull up people. You kind of have to scroll down a little bit. Okay. So Heather Ann Flynn, we're not friends, but I'm friends with 5 people that she's friends with, and I'll go through and kind of look and see if she looks like somebody I might connect with. I'll click add friend, and I'll just do that for 5 people during my power hour every day. Like I said, I don't get emotionally attached to them. If we don't know each other, it doesn't matter yet if they don't like me back or friend me or whatever. So think of some things that you like, that you enjoy doing. I would recommend, unless you are a fitness instructor or somebody deeply immersed in the fitness community, think of something outside of fitness. Otherwise, all you're going to do is pull up a bunch of Beachbody coaches, and that's not helpful for anybody to grow their network. Okay, back to this. So we did friends of friends. Now suggested groups. Let me check the chat box too really quick, just in case there's anybody in the, okay. You guys feel free to type questions too, and there'll be time for questions at the end as well. But so suggested groups. Hopefully my Facebook thing is working again. Have you guys ever done suggested groups? I don't know where that blue line went to or came from. But so let's see. Let's go to groups. And okay. Up here it says groups. So this is going to be groups I'm already in. Favorite groups, all that stuff. You can manage your groups, so you can delete yourself from groups at any point in time. And you can also discover groups. Hopefully I'm not talking about stuff you guys already know about, but you can scroll right here. There's a little scroll bar, and think of things that you like or that describe you. Like if you're a mom of preschoolers, if you are a mom over 40, if you are a grandmother, if you, I don't know, if you're a farmer, like what do you do? You're not just a Beachbody coach. You are lots of other things. What describes you? I love cupcakes. Like I said, I love Jesus. Those are the things that I'm going to look to with. I like to garden. That would be a good one. Oh, too many clicking. Okay. So then it makes suggestions for groups that I can join. I have a very specific system that I use for groups. So I add and I wrote it down, and I think my child took my note cards that I wrote. But I add myself to, what did I say? Let me make a list of 5 hobbies. So I add myself to 5 groups. I thought it was 5, but I didn't want to misspeak. I add myself to 5 groups every week, which sounds like a lot, but I don't keep them all, if that makes sense. So I add myself to 5 groups, and during my power hour on one day of the week, I will take out 30 minutes to scroll the group. I turn off all notifications for all groups immediately. Hold on, sweetie, I'm on my call, okay? Okay, sorry. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, so I don't know how long they're going to last propped up in front of the TV. I know I'm a bad mom, but so like I said, I add myself to 5 groups, immediately turn off all notifications for the groups because that's super annoying to me to get a news feed full of group crap. So I then go for 30 minutes during my power hour, probably the same day that I find those groups, and I scroll. I scroll for probably, I don't know, a minute or two. I look over the posts that have been posted in there already. If I find 3 or 4 posts, 2, 3, 4, something like that, more than just one post within my little short time of scrolling that I could comment on, and not about Beachbody stuff, just about connection. If I find 2 or 3 in there, I'll keep the group. If I scroll and it's a bunch of crap and I just really, I've gotten into lots of groups where I'm like, this is not for me at all, I just leave the group. I don't say anything. I don't make a big spectacle. I'm not like, this group sucks, I'm out of here. Like, I just click the leave button. Nobody ever knew I was there. Nobody knows I'm gone. In and out, no problem. Now, if it is a group that I want to keep, at least for a little while, I will set aside time in my power hour to scroll and comment on. I don't mess around in groups a ton. I don't want to be in, I don't want to get sucked into 6 hours of scrolling and answering people's stuff. What I will do is go in and comment on a couple of things that I feel like are worthwhile, and then I will I'll make connections with those people, and then I will friend those people that I've made a connection with in that group. Most of the time you will find yourself liking or commenting on the same person's stuff. That's a good indicator that you should friend them. Especially if you've commented on their stuff, they'll recognize your name. It's not some random person adding them. And again, I don't immediately go in there and be like, hey, how are you? So glad to connect with like-minded people. You want to join my challenge group? Like, then I kind of go back to the other system. I'll go through their news feed, scroll a few times, click like and comment, because that means my stuff is going to start popping up on their news feeds as well, as far as Facebook algorithms go. Let me check the chat box because I see something there. I forgot how to turn off notifications. Well, let me show you. Who's it? Corin, am I saying it right? Hopefully. Let me show you how to do that. So here, I'll just, hopefully this is an open, well, I don't want to join one that's not easy to join for this. Here, I'll just go to one of my groups and I'll turn off comments, because I do have some that I still get notifications from because I really, really like the group. Instant Pot, that's a good one, because this is like, what, 383,000 members. That's out of control, right? Obviously, I'm not in there poaching a bunch of people like, oh, I need to poach you. A lot of these groups will have posting guidelines, like you can't post about your challenge groups. Well, I'm not in here promoting myself anyway. I'm in here to make connections with other people. So you'll just click notifications right here, and you can, I have it on highlights right now. I can turn it off. And there you go. I don't know how to do it from a phone, but that's how you do it from your desktop. If I had my phone right beside me, I would. Okay, so like I said, I will scroll. I don't know who that guy is. Why is Instant Pot so much more popular? Like, if I've seen Elizabeth's name, and again, with giant groups like this one, I'm probably not going to see the same person's name over and over again. But if I have other groups that are a little bit smaller, I try not to join too many huge, massive groups. But some of the, like, I don't know, I'd say between 3,000 people, because again, 3,000 people aren't actually commenting. The majority of those people probably turn their notifications off. But, you know, those kind of smaller groups, you're going to see the same people commenting. And you want people who are engaged on social media on your team, because then you're not having to do a lot of legwork training them on how to post on social media. Did I see a Perverts Anonymous group? Yeah. So when I did like a dry run of this call, Stacy, it kept popping up, and I'm like, what is on my feed that somebody would think I need Perverts Anonymous? This is terrible. So I don't know why that's there. I don't, dear God, hopefully nobody's ever searched pervert stuff on my computer. So, so your action step, make a list of 5 hobbies and go find some groups, join them. and make this a regular part of your routine, because you're never going to be able to grow if you're doing the same things over and over and over again. Okay, so tip number 4, right? Yeah. Good, man, we're moving quick through here. I was told I had about 30 minutes, so like I said, I don't want to keep you guys too long. So look in your own friend group. As you do this more and more and more often, you're going to forget people. Like, that's just how it goes. You're not going to be able to keep up with thousands of people all the time. It just doesn't typically happen like that. And so a lot of times I hear my coaches say, well, I'm having trouble finding people to talk to and to reach out to and to make relationships with. And they're seeking this new way of doing all this stuff. But a lot of times you have people there. You just need to reach out to them. Unless you are starting from a group of about 100 to 200 people on your friends list, you have plenty of people, my guess is. So what I will do, and again, I don't do this all the time, but I will go, so I have 1,300 friends right now, and I build slowly. Like I will come in and tell you, I don't massively build all the time. I have a full-time job, so this is not my full-time job all the time, but I do consistently build. And I probably started out with a friends group of, 300, 400 people, and have been doing this regularly for about 6 months and seen big growth in my community, in my coaching group. So what I will do is go, most of the time I kind of just scroll down to the bottom, because the people up at the top are going to be people that you interact with regularly. So I scroll down a ways, and I kind of just look and see if there are people who I haven't seen on my newsfeed in a while. If I haven't, okay, Krista, that's a good example. I probably haven't seen her post, but she's posted 10 new posts. So I know she's posting. So I can look on here and say, I could comment and click and like some stuff, that's cool. I like that. And maybe I'll send her a message later and just say, hey, you ran it. And my typical line, and whether this is true or not, doesn't really matter to them. They don't need to know, or they don't need to care. I will say, hey, especially if I've clicked like on their picture that they've posted more recently, I will say, hey, you just scrolled across my newsfeed, and gosh, I haven't talked to you in so long. How have you been? Let's catch up. I don't go right in for the kill. I'm not like, hey, man, sure looking good, Krista. You want to turn up that stomach? Let's do T25 together. No, I just talk to her like a normal human being. We don't need to, be super salesy kind of people. So let's see, got a chat. This is, oh, good, Erin, I'm so glad. Good. Let me just be super open and transparent here. I'm super nervous to be talking on Team Empire's call. I am so far down in you guys' lineage. I guess to talk about lineage, it's Amy Silverman, Meredith Ganal, Jackie, Erica, me. So I don't even know if any of those names probably other than Amy mean anything to you guys, but that's kind of where I am in Team Empire. So when Barbie asked me to do this, I was like, oh gosh, sure, I'd love to. I'm thrilled to do this, but that comes with trying something new and getting out of your comfort zone. So, oh, Corin, yay, good vibe tribe. That makes me so happy. Yay. Okay, if you guys want to unmute yourself, I'll stop share right now. Stacy, you said you're a baby coach. That's awesome. I'm so glad you decided to make the investment of your time in getting on here. Why didn't it stop share? Oh, because I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. So ask questions. We have a few more minutes. I am an open book, so let's do it. Ask. Anybody have any questions? Stacy, you said you're new. Do you have questions about stuff?
Oh. I have a quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
You said you had a big transformation story.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big transformation that I feel like I'm having right now. I just started T25. It's my second week.
Yay.
I've been a discount coach for a while, and I just like the Beachbody community.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really wanting to make some extra money and really start at least paying for my Shakeology.
Yeah.
So I want to start posting, my transformation. And I like how you said your journey isn't over.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even though I'm not where I want to be, I know a lot of people say just start posting your journey, even though you're not where you want to be fitness wise. Yeah. And I guess my question is, number one, just start posting. I know there's all kinds of trainings on that, and the Good Vibe Tribe has all that stuff. But what was something that you really feel like, did you automatically start getting messages from people when you started posting and did you start doing a challenge group right off the bat, or did you just go through your own transformation and then start inviting?
Okay. Yeah, I can totally speak to that. So I started with Beachbody so I signed up with Beachbody in May of 2004. And you'll notice I said I didn't become a coach until May of 2014. I did not become a coach until November of 2014. That was all self-doubt. And it totally sounds a lot like what you're saying. I had this false belief that I should work on my transformation and work on myself before I did anything else. And I regret doing that because I lost a lot of ground there where I could have been sharing. I would jump right in immediately. If you're super comfortable with sharing transformation photos, do it today. It's Tuesday, right? Hashtag it Transformation Tuesday and be bold and go do it. ASAP, right after you get off this call. If you aren't, and you do have a lot of reservations with vulnerability and stuff like that, what you can do is start breadcrumbing. An easy way for me to do a transformation in the very beginning, and I'm telling you, it took me a good solid, 3 or 4 months to post a body transformation picture. And there was a big change. I did a face-to-face Friday transformation because if you don't feel comfortable with the rest of your body, putting it out there, people see your face, and your face is one of the first things to change in a transformation. So post that. Put a picture of your face before and a picture of your face now. Put them together, hashtag it Face-to-Face Friday, and say, holy crap, I didn't even realize that this had happened. I have a neck. Wow. That was a big thing for me. I never had a neck before. Didn't even realize I didn't have a neck until I put a picture of a side one with a neck, and I'm like, whoa, look at that. I have a little swan neck. I felt all pretty. But that's not some big, super huge thing. But transformation photos, they can't be all you ever post, but it's got to be something you post, because if you're not sharing what you're doing with people, nobody knows what you're doing except the people you come face to face with. And yeah, they might say oh man, girl, you look really good. What are you doing? And that's your in. But if you are trying to expand and, like you said, get some income out of this, at some point you're going to have to post on Facebook. And that's hard. I know it is, especially if vulnerability is an issue, which I think in the beginning of coaching it is for most people. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown really helped me get over that. Yeah. And realizing that, again, like I said, nobody knows what you're doing unless you tell them what you're doing. And you don't have to be a walking Beachbody advertisement to do that. You can say things like, my ninja kick-ass workout. Sorry if there's kids behind you, but my ninja kick-ass workout, man, look at what it's done for my arms. And flex. I don't know, people love seeing stuff like that. So what I would do with that, so I post a transformation photo. Maybe I get 16 likes, maybe I get 600 likes. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Every single person that liked that is not already a coach or already one of my challengers, I will write their name down on a list. And I'm obviously, you can tell, I'm a big list girl. I have notebooks of lists, but that's how I work that's how I know what to do during my power hour. And I will go and I will private message each and every one of them. If they wrote a comment on it, man, Danielle, you look great. That's awesome. I will write to them and say, hey, thank you so much for the encouragement you wrote on my post. I know it seems like I share that really easily, but every time I share something like that, I want to puke. Putting myself out there makes me want to puke. And so that's all you have to say. That little inroad gives you time to make a connection with them. And if, it just kind of snowballs. If you've been a coach for a long time and you've been actively sharing your journey, when you reach out to people because you've been public with your journey and what's going on, it won't take but maybe 2 or 3 message bubbles before they're like, oh my gosh, girl, you look amazing. Like, what are you doing? Or, wow, you seem so much happier than you used to be. Like, what's different? People notice change. So if you're engaged and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're working out, you're drinking your shakes, you're plugging into personal development, you change whether you mean to or not.
Right.
Hopefully that was, and you asked about a challenge group. In the beginning, I opened up a general accountability group and allowed people to come in just kind of haphazardly. Like, I didn't require a whole lot. I don't know if I would do it the same way again, but I did let people kind of come in, as long as they didn't have another Beachbody coach. Like, I didn't care if they were hanging out with me and being accountable with me. I was doing it all at one time anyway.
So you would just do like a free group, and then you would kind of get them in, and then you would see if they wanted to buy a challenge pack or.
Yeah. So let them see the consistency that you're doing, because if you are changing and you're being consistent, if you show evidence of that, it'll be like, here, let me screen share again really quick. And it's kind of, my system has kind of changed a little bit with the Beachbody, the app. So I don't
My tracker app. That one.
Yeah. So I don't host my challenge groups in my free group anymore. I used to. And so I used to host every free clean eating group, whatever free incentive, freemium, whatever you want to call that. I used to all host that in one, and my challenge groups, like my monthly challenge groups, everything was hosted in one group. Number one, that got to be super crazy. Now I've separated out and I've taken my challengers, my actual paying challengers, onto the app, and I've left all the free people in my free group. So I'll show you, and I have not added a lot of content to this. And I just put a post, pinned it up at the top that says, if you don't feel like this group is very active anymore, this is why. I spend the bulk of my time engaging with my active challengers on the app. If you feel like you need more accountability, send me a message and I'll get you hooked up with the app. Bam, there's my challenge group. There's my challenger. There's my challenge pack girl. So I invest in Sendable. I used to, for a year and a half, I didn't invest in Sendable. I just, every night at dinner time, I had this copy and pasted on my phone, and I would just post it into my group. I found like that got to be like super crazy, and I just decided to pay the $9 for Sendable and let them do it for me. But it's just a daily check-in. So I have, it's not very many people. A lot of times what I have, like, I don't know, 116 people on here. But 26 people saw this post. It scrolled across 26 people's things. Let's say 46 people on here. Different people. And this is just like a random thing that comes up every night. And I've even had people tell me that they see that. And even though they don't respond, it encourages them to do something healthier. And again, there's my inroad to say, like, well, tell me about what you're doing. What did you mean you chose something healthier? Okay, you can watch Kazuma. Okay. No idea what that is. But hopefully they're not the ones searching pervert stuff. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, that again, that's another, I've made my own little community in there. And I am shifting back some of my focus and energy into that group, especially during Team Cup month. I usually kind of pour into those people because they are free people. They see me being consistent in there. They know that this isn't just something I sell. It's something that is in my life and I love it. So.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Do you get people asking why you're friending them? Like, do I know you? Yeah, sometimes. Rarely. Like, you'd be surprised with how trusting people are. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I'm sure I met her at my cousin Joe's wedding. Like, they just think we know each other. I would say if I got 10 people to accept my friend request, I'd say maybe even like one, if not that, like maybe 1 out of 20 will message me. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I thought you looked so familiar. Like, tell me about where, like, do you do mops at First Baptist? Do you live in Plantation Estates? Like, and again, all I'm doing is generating conversation. I don't know them. Like, and I know that I don't know them, but they don't know that they don't know me from somewhere. And most of the time, like I said, if they're coming across, like I'll go look at what their mutual friend is and like say it's somebody from college. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sure I know you from Lynchburg College, like, or Liberty or wherever. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, I graduated in '02. What about you? And I'm like, oh, I graduated in '06. Like, that's so great. How crazy. I wonder if we ever ran into each other. Like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be. I have had maybe like, I don't know, one person, two people maybe been like super weirded out by it. Like, and delete them. They don't know. You don't have a connection with them yet. Don't get personally attached with people you don't have a personal attachment to yet. So who else? Anything else? We can hang out for as long. Yeah. Just unmute yourself, Erin. You're good.
Okay. I have a question. This is,
Sure.
I don't know how to really phrase this. I guess I do know how to phrase it. So I've had a pretty good personal transformation. I've had two actually, but my last one, I've lost 50 pounds.
Yeah, that's great.
I get a lot of people, especially at church, but just in general, like on social media, like a lot of people are really super supportive of my transformation, and or like, you look amazing. But I have a hard time, like, how do you go from that? I don't know, how do you like transition, like then I don't know. I feel like even when I do, because I talk about Beachbody all the time, but I feel like I talk about it all the time, and then people are like, Beachbody again.
Well, but if you're staying consistent in your journey, I mean, yeah, off the bat, they might go, Beachbody again. But they know what you're doing. And if you stay consistent, like my biggest thing for me and my coaches is I've got to stay consistent, because the moment I'm not consistent anymore, people are going to be like, I knew that didn't work. She should have done a wrap. Like, whatever. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like that, you can't let that falter. Now, as far as conversations go, if all you're leaving it at is, oh, thank you so much, that's really sweet of you to say, and then you walk off and talk to somebody else, like, no, you're probably not going to. But then that's where I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Like, are we friends on Facebook? We should be friends on Facebook. And then that way, like, they'll comment on something. I don't know. I get a little flustered face to face sometimes. I have like a little small introverted streak, I guess, in me. And so then it's easier for me to private message them. And then that's when I would say in the private message or email or text or however you continue to communicate with them. And if you are introverted enough, if you do have enough bold confidence, if you can gather your balls, whatever you want to call them, and go in there and say like, hey, be real with them and sit down and say, thank you so much for telling me that. Like, I know it looks like I'm all like, yeah, it feels so good, it looks so great, but you telling me that like just really made my day. Thank you so much. Like, it's been a hard, and then talk about like, it's really hard to stay consistent in eating. And I don't know, I'm just really glad I have my challenge group. Mm-hmm. It's a challenge group.
It's hard to take, getting a lot better at it, but it's really hard to take compliments.
Oh, girl, I know. And I'm not saying like everybody I see is like, whoa, Danielle, you look great. I'm sure 90% of people don't give a flying crap what I look like. But those 10% of people, I really try to be authentic with them and make a connection there. And again, that don't think that one interaction with one person is the only interaction you'll ever have with them. Like, oh, I've got to sell them on this challenge pack right now. A lot of times I'll just send a message and be like, hey, did you guys have a good Christmas? It doesn't have anything to do with challenge packs. Like, all I want to do is open a conversation. So,
okay.
Yeah. Anybody else before we wrap up? All right. Well, speak now because I'm out of here. I got to go make dinner. So, yeah, go for it.
If you could kind of just speak to, I don't know, I guess I just need a little bit of inspiration on this. I guess sometimes I second guess with myself a lot, like, can I really do this? And so I know a lot of people say personal development, but I'm just feeling like, is this really, you see all these success stories, but then for some reason I still doubt myself. Like, am I really going to be able to do this? Can I, I mean, I work part-time, and I heard you say you worked full-time. So can you just speak to that just really quick before you head out, just so I can kind of, hopefully that'll push me a little bit.
Yeah, you're not going to like what I have to say, though. You're not. I'm sorry. It's personal development.
Okay.
It sucks. I know, especially if you're not a reader. My biggest thing and my biggest transformation with personal development was making an investment in audible.com. It's run through Amazon. I think it's like $16 a month or something like that. Yeah. And I listened to every bit of it. I went to my library and I checked out books. We travel a lot. And I listen to books in the car. I don't care if my kids want to listen to like We Sing junk. Like, well, right now Mama's going to listen to this book. We'll listen to We Sing when we hit Alabama. But right now we're going to listen to this book and they can suck it up. Like, I mean, no. And then I let them watch Mickey Mouse. So they get all things. Yeah, Stacy, read You Are a Badass. I say read it all. I'm a personal development junkie from someone who totally doubted that personal development meant anything. Like, I'm very transparent. Like, I really thought it was a bunch of self-help crap. Like, oh, well, that's for people who, I don't know, have a crappy life or what, whatever those thoughts that you have. But the self-doubt, you're not going to grow unless you move and change. Like, that fear that's there. Most self-doubt is rooted in fear. So I would explore where that fear is coming from. Like, is it what if I do this and people don't like me? What if I embarrass myself? Like, where is that fear coming from? Because most of the time that's where the self-doubt is. Because you can totally own it and rock it and be just as big and great and grand as anybody out there. If you do work outside of your home, you have to be intentional about your time. And that's, again, one of those things that nobody likes to hear because it's work. But you have to be intentional about your time, and you have to, to the point where I will set a timer on my phone. Like, we're talking about power hours. I will set a 1-hour timer on my phone, or I will go to Panera and sit for lunch and set a timer on my phone. And as soon as that timer goes on, I'm like, oh God, I gotta get work done. Like, I can't scroll Facebook. I gotta get work done. And I have a list of things to do. Like, if you use the business activity tracker, but even if all you're doing is doing the things that I talked about tonight, growing your network and connecting with those people and sharing your journey publicly, it'll work. Like, that's the formula. That's all it is. There's no secret to it. There's no, you don't have to spend $60,000 in Facebook ads a year. Like, connect to people, make relationships, and grow your network every day. Because if that's all you're doing, one of the, it sounds weird and like totally weird name dropperish, but Moira Kusaba is one of the people on Good Vibe Tribe. And to watch her grow from, I know she's been a coach for a little over a year, to number 24 in the entire company in a little over a year. And she will tell you, she didn't run an ad until probably Christmas of this year. And that's because she's like, I've tapped out every warm market outlet I can do. We have not tapped out our markets. Unless you're, top whatever, you have not tapped out your market. You can grow, you can do groups, you can join a community advocacy group. Like, maybe you're super passionate about a political thing. Like, join something in real life. Like, don't just scroll Facebook. Like, go join something in real life. Because again, and that was the other thing before. I'm glad I just reminded myself of that. So I don't know where my slideshow went. Doesn't really matter because we're not on screen share. But in the face-to-face stuff, a really nice, easy way is wear and share swag. Like, take your Shaco cup, fill it with water, and carry it around. Like, who cares if you're seen at your MOPS group or whatever you do. I don't know if y'all are MOPS people, but like, who cares if you're seen there with your Shaco cup? Like, eventually somebody's, yay, Kimberly, I'm glad I'm feeling like, I love my mom. But, oh, hey, Megan. Yeah, so take your cup. Don't say anything to anybody about anything. Let them say something to you. You know, one of the biggest, easiest free ways to get wear and share, do the Beachbody Challenge. Finish a program, put your stats in, they send you a free t-shirt, wear it. You don't like the way it's cut? I cut a boat neck in it. I cut the sleeves off and made it a muscle tank and I run in it. Like, just because people notice that stuff. And especially for introverts, that is like the easiest, simple way to start a conversation, because people want to know, like, t-shirts and hats especially. Like, people comment on hats a lot. I look like a boy in a hat, so that's not helpful for me. But my husband will wear his P90X3 hat, and people will be like, oh man, you did P90X3? Like, oh man, that program's badass. Like, I heard about that. What's the 3? Like, I know about the original. And you're like, oh, well, the 3 is the 30-minute version. Like, I ain't got time for an hour of workout. Like, 30 minutes is all it is. And all of a sudden you're talking about it. Like, that's all it's about, just talking about it. So, anybody else got any questions? Let's see, I'll scroll just one more time in the chat box to make sure. All right. Anybody else unmute? All right. Well, thank you guys for allowing me to take up some of your time tonight. I hope this has been informative and you've learned something. And don't forget to do those action steps. That is the thing. Like, all the information is great and grand and wonderful, but if you don't do anything with it, it's worthless. I wasted my time and you wasted yours. So even if you do nothing else, do one of those things and add some people to your network tonight. So, all right. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you have a great night. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. Oh, thanks, guys.